Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Wordy, my hub for all of the words that I read, write, or otherwise want to yap about. Today, I have a very special author guest on the pod. She's the contemporary romance author of stories that blend swoony love stories with layered family relationships and emotional stakes that hit in the best way. Her latest release, The Dating Game, is now available, and her upcoming book, Reunion with a Doc, releases March 31st. Please welcome Mona Shroff.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. We're at a con right now, and I'm just getting started, so fresh and ready to go.
Yeah,
so
it's
excited
Valentine's
to be here.
Day.
Yes.
We're feeling the love in the air.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
And all of the author signings kick off today. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I love meeting readers. I love meeting other authors, and I love meeting everyone associated with the industry, and everyone here has been so amazing. So yeah. Very excited.
Listen, I love going to book cons, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever been to a bad book convention, but there's something about the energy at this place that is just so positive and warm, and I'm having a blast. Me and you are like considering going to get tattoos at the tattoo pop-up, which is hilarious.
Yes.
My husband in the back is probably like, you're considering getting a tattoo? Hello? Yes, I'm considering getting a tattoo. Okay, so to warm up, what I like to do with most of my guests when we have full-length episodes, I like to say, what are you reading, watching, and listening to? But to kind of condense that down, what would you say is your current or one of your recent hyperfixations in the media, pop culture, bookish world?
Oh, wow. I definitely joined the fantasy thing a while ago.
Yes.
And then I went into like a hole with thrillers for a while.
Ooh, yeah.
And I currently have been brought back to sci-fi through my son.
Ooh, yeah.
So my son is a late blooming reader, and I've always done a little 2-person book club with my daughter. And then all of a sudden he was so excited about reading. We're like, let's read his trilogy. So we started reading Red Rising, that trilogy.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I'm on the 3rd book. They've already finished, and they're like, Mom, read
Catch up."
faster. And I'm like, I have actual books to write too. I can't like read.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there, but I forgot. I did grow up reading all genre, and I forgot how much I really loved sci-fi. So that was fun. And then in keeping with that, I guess, my husband and I started watching 11/22/63, which is Stephen King.
Oh.
But not like horror. It's like sci-fi. It's
Ooh.
yeah. So anyway, it's an old movie, whatever, or show. The book was like this thick.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm kind of like in that little space, and then I write romances on the side.
But sometimes it's nice to have that outlet that isn't so like closely tied to what it is you're writing.
Yeah.
I've noticed that when I'm writing like silly haha rom-coms, I tend to be really pulled in with shows that have like a thriller element. Like I love Squid Game, and I was big into watching Squid Game, which is not a pleasant show,
No,
mind you.
no.
I was so into that show when I was writing like one of my fluffiest rom-com projects.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes it's like a vacation for your brain a little bit.
yes, genuinely. I like it's the duality of woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of pop culture, you're about to be on a pop culture panel here at Lovelit.
I am.
For all of our listeners that aren't attending the con, tell us a little bit about how pop culture plays a role in your approach to writing, but also how it affects the book publishing world.
Oh, that's a light question. I think pop, because I write contemporary almost exclusively right now. I mean, I'm going to branch into other things, but I think it's nice to have an element of pop culture, but at the same time, I guess sometimes it's not. I do put a little bit of trendy stuff in there. Like one of my books, actually Reunion with the Doc, they both are reading a certain fantasy series. Like I don't name the series, but like if you read fantasy,
Yeah.
you're right. Or I might, so because fantasy is so big right now, so that might be something, but that's a little bit more nuanced. Like you'd have to know that, right? So that won't actually go out of style. So I think because I'm writing contemporary and because we live in the world, it's easier. And those are the things that are just on my mind, right? So maybe my next book they'll be reading sci-fi, like dystopian sci-fi, because that's what I read. You know,
yeah.
that kind of thing. So then it speaks to something that I can easily kind of put out there and make relevant. I know one of our questions coming up in the panel is like, do you think that in terms of book publishing, if you put too much pop culture in there, will it get outdated? Will it seem old, like, you know, a few years from now? And I think it might, but I also think that it's kind of fun. Sometimes it depends on who your audience
Yeah.
is. I think some people might be like, oh, it's so old, but some people might be like, oh, yeah, like that's what was happening then. And I remember X, Y, and Z. And so while I try not to make it too like specific to like 2025 or 2026, like that's not the thing that's happening, but like the 2020s, you
Yeah.
know. I didn't really do a lot of pandemic stuff at all because everyone was trying to get away from that. But my current work in progress does have mention of like, you know, he has a dog and when did you get the dog? And he got his dog the same time I got my dog, which was during the pandemic. Right? So it's just
Yeah.
a little mention
Yeah.
if that's kind of pop culture-y. So I do feel like it lends itself nicely for your current readers. And if, you know, depending on how the author feels or the publisher, I guess, feels about how much it dates you, I think that's one of the more concerning things is, are you putting things in there that, you know, are going to feel old, or are you going to put something in there that's so specific and like years from now you find out that that's not acceptable, you know, that kind of thing. Like a lot of we were talking last night with some people who went, what was your first romance? And, you know, a lot of people back in the day, there was a lot of dubious content, right? So DubCon was
Yeah.
a thing, right? Or any, like those kinds of things, and they change now. So I think it's kind of a call you have to make personally in between you and your publisher. And if you're trad published, then you get to do what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, like, I love when media, like books and movies and TV, like kind of timestamp themselves, because then, you know, years go by and I'm like, man, the nostalgia of like 2010 teenage dystopia,
Yeah.
or like the 90s rom-coms and
Yeah.
the 80s movies, like, because you can categorize it into like, wow, this sense of nostalgia, and you get to look back on it with like an extra special fondness, which I really like.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite iconic pop culture moments that you think about often?
I think that most of the iconic pop culture moments, I think, would probably come from some form of media. Like when you said that, the first thing I thought of was the pivot scene from Friends.
Yes.
I don't write rom-com, but I am so waiting to put that somewhere.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
you know,
yes.
and honestly, like it's in our daily language, and I think that's so funny. Like if I say the word pivot, everybody knows what
Oh, yes.
what I'm
I
talking
can't hear
about.
it the same.
You can't hear it the same anymore. So I do love that. And then, you know, when I don't remember when the movie came out, but if you remember a movie called oh, now I'm gonna blank. Marissa Tomei and
Oh, was this with
my
Robert
cousin
Downey
Vinny.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr. and
No, it was he was oh my God, I'm losing my mind right
I know
now.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Didn't she win the Oscar for that as like the supporting actress?
I don't remember, but she was kind of like a New Jersey girl, like a
Yes.
Jersey girl.
Yes, I know
and
exactly
they were
what you're
in
talking
like the
about.
South, and you know, a lot of her lines, like, you know, my biological clock is ticking. Like
Yes.
I feel like there's a certain generation to which I can just say that, and they're just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. You know, I know exactly what you're talking about and who you're referencing. So it's somebody out there knows who the actor is. It's not Danny DeVito. It's not him.
Yeah.
It's it'll come to us later.
It'll come back. I
Yes.
know. We'll be talking about
Yes.
something else and we'll be like, oh, it's him.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to more of your books, let's talk about the dating game. So something about me is that I will always eat up a Brother's Best Friend book every single time.
Okay.
I mean, you were talking about how we also love like fake dating.
Yes.
Again, it's one of those things that like, is it like a trope that a lot of people recognize? Of course, but like it works for a reason. It's just so good. If I'm not mistaken, this marks book 7 in your Once Upon a Wedding series. Is that correct?
Yes, this is book 7. It's the last one in the Once Upon a Wedding series. And the Once Upon a Wedding series basically just has to touch a wedding. Each book has to touch a wedding. So over the years, I did the caterers and all that. And so this, in the first scene of this one, her brother's getting married. So it's paired with the one right before it, which was If You Can't Stand the Heat. It's her brother's story. So you're introduced to all the characters in that one. And you might get a hint of things in that one. And then this is the three of them have grown up together. So it's brother's best friend, but it's also my best friend's sister going that way. So because they're already all best friends. So it's also he is, and I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying he fell first. So when you
Love
know
that one too.
it's really like his best friend's sister.
Yeah.
And then she comes around as well. And the fake, this one, I think I felt like I took the fake to like extreme limits a little bit. I don't want to give anything away, but I just let them fake for a very long time. And it worked.
Yeah.
I'm a pantser, so a lot of times I just let the characters take me where they're going, and all of a sudden this was where they were going, and I was like, okay. And I think the fake works because there's already that tension there. And they have to do things that you would do if you were a couple. So especially if one is already thinking along those lines, or there's something suppressed or whatever, and they have to like lean into sharing a bed or touching each other in public or any of those cutesy little things. Now you as a reader, you feel that tension too, and it's just delicious to watch. And I have to say, it's really, really delicious to write as well.
Oh,
it's really
I bet.
fun.
Especially like drawing it out.
Yes.
Like, you're like, "Ugh, I may have done it to a fault." I'm like, no, that is what the people want. We want the angst. We want the yearning. But since this is book 7 in your Once Upon a Wedding series, what do you think is the secret behind a successful, long-lasting series?
I think in this case, it was that once I started going, the characters started visiting each other. And they all are also standalone.
Yeah.
So I don't have any pressure on anybody to be like, you must start with the 5-day reunion and go straight through. You can, and then you'll see the evolution. You can pick up this one first and then go back and read them, and you'll see some of the people in here are in another book, and then they have their story. So I think you get to see the happily ever after. So sometimes you get a little semi-extended epilogue. So her brother's book was the one before, and so you get to see him actually be married.
Yeah.
In this book. So I think that helps us. I think people kind of like that, those little like Easter eggy things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So meanwhile, Reunion with the Doc kicks off as book 1 of a brand new series.
Yes.
Following Nimita. Am I saying her name right?
Nimita, yes.
Nimita. As she has to play tour guide for the guy straight out of her biggest high school horror story.
Yes.
I will say, though, I love an escapist setting, like a story that takes me away from my problems. What made you want to set this story in Hawaii? Have you ever been?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about like why Hawaii?
Hawaii is my happy place.
Yes.
I don't know. there's something about being there. Like the flight is long. I live on the East Coast. It takes forever to get there. But when you're there, I'm just like, there is blue sky and palm trees here, but it's just the vibe just hits different. And I think it's because you're on vacation as well, of course. But so this one is kind of a vacation romance, and it's based on and I just love that place. And we were looking for like a travel.
Yeah.
We were looking for like a destination kind of series, but that was still like not international. And I'm like, I need an island. I had always envisioned it on an island. I'm like, okay, Hawaii. And also because I've been there a couple times, I'm familiar.
Yeah.
So I just had to look up some of sort of the tour guides and, that kind of thing for some details that I might have forgotten. But
Yeah.
I remembered how I felt and what my experiences were, and I was able to put that in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of writing, what are some of the things that you like to do for fun?
Oh gosh, I love to read. I do love to travel. So my kids are grown up, and my husband and I take every chance that we can to travel with or without the children. So we're doing that. We're kind of in that little phase right now. I also, when I can, I used to be a huge baker. And I baked a lot when the kids were growing up. Now I have nobody to eat it, so I don't always bake, but I still make like chocolate truffles, which I did bring with me for my children because they're here. And they're like, "You're making truffles, Mom?" And I was like, "I will bring them."
Yep.
Yeah. So I do like to do that as well. So when I have some free time, yes.
Awesome. Okay, so again, we are at LoveLitCon right now, but
Yes.
when this episode release, we won't be at LoveLitCon anymore,
Right.
which makes me so sad.
Yeah.
Tell our future listeners where they can find you, where they can find your books, if you're going to any other events coming up.
So I'm actually doing a con again next week. So it'll be over by the time, but I'm going to Coastal Magic on the other side of the country. It's in Daytona Beach in Florida. For anybody who is local, I'll be at the local library in Columbia, Maryland next month. Also in Maryland, I'm doing Dreaming Dirty. Later on in the year, I am most active social media wise on Instagram. It's all linked, but Instagram is kind of where I go, and I do check my DMs, and I love hearing from authors. I love hearing from readers, also authors, but mostly I do like hearing from readers who have read books and I do an unboxing video every single time. And every single time I do an unboxing, I do give my ARCs out for free. So all you have to do is DM me. So if you're following me, there won't be an unboxing for a little while, but there will be one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you have it. Thank you for tuning into Talk Wordy, and my thanks again to Mona Shroff for coming on the show.
Yeah, of course. So excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram at Talk Wordy Pod, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, you guys.